Hi everyone and welcome back to another episode of Classic Mini Maintenance and Repairs. Now, like most Mini owners here in the UK, it's not really practical to have a Mini as your car 365 days a year. So I'd advise that you get yourself a daily workhorse for back and forth to work over the winter time. Keep the salt off your Mini, and when it's heavily raining over the summertime, just use your workhorse, keep your Mini nice and look after it. So this is what I've got.
And this is my workhorse, a 1995 Mercedes estate, arguably one of the best Mercedes ever made, the W124 E300D, a true testament to the bygone era of simple and reliable old diesel engines. With only 250,000 miles on the clock, this old tank will easily reach 500,000 miles if I keep up the previous owner's good work of regular maintenance and services. Okay, so let's have a look and see what we need to do this. Okay, so to do this we don't actually need a lot of stuff. You've got a small selection of spanners, a small socket set. We've got Castrol Magnatec oil 1040. I only ever use Magnatec when I'm servicing my cars. I just think it's proven itself with my past cars and it's just a good oil to use. We've got the oil filter, fuel filter, air filter. We've got an engine flush, oil treatment, which I'll put in with the oil after I've done a flush. Once you do a flush, you'll be removing pretty much everything that sticks to the engine, so it's good to use a good quality oil to replace what you've taken out, and add an oil treatment will just help thicken up the oil, make sure it sticks to where it needs to stick. I'll use a V-belt spray. This is just a basic spray for machinery. You just spray it on your belts, stops the squealing, keeps it running efficiently. I've got some diesel treatment here. I put this one in when I had a quarter of a tank left, so it's a kind of concentrated amount. It says 2 shot, it's supposed to be 1 shot per full tank. I've put a full bottle in when I've got a quarter of a tank, so it's kind of ran through the system and cleared out any bits. I've also got another, it's the same stuff, just different brand of diesel treatment, and I've got a trigger spray here, and what we'll do is we'll actually spray this directly into the intake as the engine's running, and that will just help de-choke the pistons and give it a good clean out. Okay, so I'm going to take my car for a short drive, get it up to running temperature, then park it up on the ramps and we'll get cracking. Okay, so that's us up to near enough running temperature. We'll go ahead and do the oil first, I think, then we'll do the fuel and the airbox. So first of all, we'll just add the engine flush directly to the oil, and then I'll let this run for, say, 5 minutes, I think it says in the back of the bottle, and then we'll drain the oil out. And we'll just go ahead and pour the whole bottle directly into the oil, like so. Now, if you can't get a hold of this stuff, I got this stuff in Tool Station for, I think it was like £4 here in the UK. If you can't get a hold of any engine flush, you can use a cup of diesel. A cup of diesel straight into the oil, same as this. That's what they used to do before this stuff kind of hit the market back in the day. Again, it won't do any harm, just clears out all the gunk, all the deposits, all the grime that's sitting at the bottom of the sump. A lot of people say you shouldn't use engine flushes because it disturbs all the grime and kind of lets it flow around the engine. I've never had a problem. I recommend it. I've never had a problem. As I said, it's always done a good job for me, but it's up to you. Do your own research, come to your own conclusion, and make your own mind up about it. So I've let the engine flush run for approximately 10 minutes through the engine. I'll let the engine sit for 5 minutes, just let all the deposits sink to the bottom, make sure it's easier for it to flush straight out the engine. And what I'll do just now is I'll take off the fuel filter, which is a size 19 spanner on the top. You crack off your fuel shut off, you unscrew this, and then your fuel filter falls at the bottom. It's a two-handed job, so I'll stop the camera for a second while I undo this. Okay, so I've got my new filter here. It came with replacement O-rings for the shut-off valve. Just go ahead, get these off with a small screwdriver, and then carefully put the new ones on. Okay, so with the rubber washers or the O-rings changed on the fuel shut-off valve, what I'm going to do now is take some of the diesel treatment and actually pour it directly into the fuel filter before I screw it back on. And again, that just gives it a more kind of concentrated dose on startup, just to kind of give the injectors a good concentrated dose and clear out any of the glaze or gunk that's sitting on them. It's very important, obviously, when you take this off, not to drop oil on your belt. The belt's just right there. You really need to kind of be very careful when you move the radiator hose. Get some paper towels on top, stop it dripping out over the place. It's quite a tricky job, it takes two hands. Okay, so I'll go and maybe fill this about halfway with the diesel treatment, screw it back on, and then we'll get to the next part. Okay, so the first thing you want to do before your drain is take the oil cap off, and then that just lets it run out more freely without any kind of suction issues. Okay, so the next part is just take the plastic belly pad off. It's just a couple of Phillips screws and a couple of 8mm bolts. Then using a 13mm socket, you want to undo your sump plug. You'll find it just here on the passenger side, right in the middle of the sump. 13mm socket, slang it off, and then slowly undo it. And then when you see it starting to drip out, just kind of use your fingers to just control the flow until you're comfortable with the speed that's coming out. Straighten your bucket, obviously, and then just leave that for 10 minutes, let every last drop come out, and then we're ready to go on to the next stage. Okay, so if you go to the back of the engine, you'll see this kind of circle. This is the oil filter housing. It's got three 13mm bolts on top. You unscrew the three bolts. The middle one, this little copper washer as well, will come out, and that actually holds your filter in place, like so. It's a big long bolt, probably about 12 inches maybe. Take that out, and then you unscrew your two top bolts. Like so, and lift the cap off. And there you have your oil filter. So it's a big canister. You get a plastic bag and lift it out with the plastic bag so you don't drip oil over the place. Get some paper towel, clean out the inside, make sure it's nice and clean. And then you want to put some oil back in there, fill it up with the new canister, and we'll catch you for the next video. Okay, so with the old oil filter out, just get my hand in there, it's quite deep. I just cleaned it out with some kitchen roll, topped it up with some fresh oil, cleaned the top bit, and the oil filter sitting there, cleaned the spindle as well, you'll see there. And when you put the filter back in, it's paper end down, and you should be able to find its way. It should just clip into place. Okay, and then just reverse the whole thing, put it on, the weight came off, can't go wrong, easy as that. And then just tighten up, don't want to over tighten and strip the threads, but it needs to be obviously tight enough to keep the oil in. Okay, so I've added my engine oil. The next step is to go and run this under the hot tap under the kitchen sink. As you can see, it's very viscous, and if you're pouring this in, it would take a lifetime. So the idea is to just warm it up a wee bit, not boiling hot water that you'd melt the plastic, but hot enough just to make it a bit more easy to pour in. So I'll go and do this for about 5 minutes and then I'll come back. So there you go, it's much easier to pour now, much more liquid. And we'll just go ahead and pour this straight into the engine. Okay, so that's the fuel filter done, the oil change, oil filter. All that's left to do is the air filter, but as you can see the weather's taking a turn for the worse, so I'll do that tomorrow. What you need to do now is crank your car over. Now, because we've interrupted the fuel system and added some injector cleaner directly to the fuel filter, it's going to take a couple of attempts for the car to actually start up. So while you're cranking it over, don't crank it too long at a time or you'll burn out your starter motor. So what you want to do is just kind of turn your ignition on, wait a couple of seconds for your glow plugs to heat up, crank your car, and luckily this is started up straight away, which is unusual. Oh, it's a bit lumpy, there we go. So it might lump and bump until it gets a proper supply of diesel through the... There we go, so it's turned off. So we just need to keep on doing that, and then give it a little bit of gas, keep it going, and then eventually you'll get some diesel back in the housing and everything will run smooth. It'll probably be quite smoky to start off with, because remember we've put in all that diesel treatment into the fuel filter, so it's going to run on that instead of diesel, so it will be quite smoky to start with, a bit jumpy, juddery. And just let it run for 5 minutes, let it work through its system, and you should be okay. Okay, so the next step is we're going to take this belt spray and then just spray it directly onto the belt as the engine's running. Obviously be careful, don't get too close to the belt. You can spray this from a fairly distance, so it's got the nozzle there. Okay, so now we want to take our 7mm socket and undo these bolts that are holding on the airbox. There's one here, and then go ahead and take this one off from up as well. And then to get the air filter out, it's just flip off some clips, and then this black top just lifts straight off, and then you find your paper air filter inside. So I'll go ahead and take these tubes off, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, now that it's all disconnected and the old air filter's out, I like to just take some WD-40, spray it inside the airbox, and then give it a quick clean, get rid of all the dust with some paper towel, and just make sure all the dust and any grime that's kind of gathered up is cleaned out. Okay, so nice and shiny now, so no dirt or grime inside there. And we'll just put the new air filter back on. And I'll just do this until maybe I've got like half a bottle here. So once half the bottle's done, I'll turn the engine off, connect all the hoses back up, and then that's it finished. Let's get a little bit of white grease. Okay, and that's how easy it is to service your classic Mercedes. And if you look after these old cars, they'll look after you and you won't have much trouble with them. Just keep up with the regular maintenance, keep up with the regular services, and they'll go on forever. Now, tomorrow, before I go anywhere, I'll check the oil and just make sure that it's got enough oil in it. After you've done a full service like that, an oil change including the filter, you'll probably find you need to use a bit more oil than usual. So I'll just check it tomorrow, make sure it's where it needs to be. If it isn't, add a bit more, and I should be okay. So anyway, thanks for watching guys, and I'll catch you next time.